Hello and welcome to the show. Now, the hunt for a property bargain can be as much fun as the actual auction itself. Well, almost.
You know what? When the hammer goes down and that property you've wanted for ages is finally yours, it feels really good. The beauty of buying at auction is that it can just take a few minutes.
The great thing about an auction is it's easy to attend and it's easy to bid. All you need to do is know your budget, stick to your guns, and hope that the hammer falls on your final bid.
Yeah, let's see what was purchased on today's show.
I'm in Stafford to see a lot that doesn't offer the nicest welcome.
The first thing you notice, this overwhelming smell of animal.
It's ready, set, go for Martel in Doncaster.
This takes you to the other bedroom. You can do laps around your bedroom.
And I'm off to Worthing, where I've got a lot of stairs to climb.
And already just getting a feeling like it's a big building.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
1, 2, 3, and gone.
I'm in the historic market town of Stafford in the West Midlands, with great transport links into Birmingham and Manchester. It also boasts one of the finest Tudor buildings in England, but today I'm here to see a two-bed semi-detached.
This is the house. It looks, yeah, pretty good from the outside. £90,000 plus was the guide price. But when it comes to off-street parking, this house is a doozy.
It's a great start, and the spacious off-street parking would be perfect for a two-car family. So, straight away, this place has an attractive, sellable feature. From the outside, the windows and roof look in decent condition too. So far, so good.
But what about the house itself? Well, straight in through the front, and I have to say, the first thing you notice, this overwhelming smell of animal. Yeah, and just even glancing around, lots of signs of this place being shared, humans and canines, I think. But downstairs, loo, lots of scratch marks. Into the kitchen now. It feels wrong for a start where it is, just straight at the front here. It just I don't know why that doesn't work for me. But then you come into here, and then these units. And look at this! There's actually dog hairs in the grease above the cooker. I mean, that is wild.
Well, that wasn't very pleasant. On the plus side, although any prospective buyer will need to buy a new kitchen, it doesn't look like the electrics or plumbing need any work done to them, though they should be checked by a professional.
Stairs, we'll explore up there in a minute, but through to the only other big room, or the only other room actually, on the downstairs level, and it's this, which is a really nice-sized living room. You've got this little fireplace here, a bit of a feature, big windows looking out onto the garden. No, it's nice. Just one of those properties you sort of have to go and then take a deep breath and carry on.
The inside of this house definitely needs work, but I do think a lot of it is just cosmetic. So carry on, carry on, carry on. However, should the new owners want to make any structural changes, there are options. By knocking down the living room wall, subject to advice from a structural engineer, you could create a large open-plan kitchen living area.
Well, out to the back of the property, and you've got this little patio area. You've got a fairly old but probably quite useful garage, and then a nice-sized garden, which looks to be in pretty good condition. Some nice developed bushes and all sorts of things going on here, so that's a pleasant bonus. Out here, though, I'm just glancing around the neighbourhoods. It's always good to know what other people have done with similar properties. And certainly that way, fantastic little conservatory somebody's put on there. Further down, there's an extension. So I'm thinking possibly you might want to put some kind of an extension here to really sort of enhance the lower part of the property, bring the house into this lovely garden. That's something which should definitely be worth doing.
Building a single-storey extension out into the garden would definitely improve the layout downstairs. But it all depends on what the new owner wants to do with the house and whether or not this would make sense financially. But subject to planning, it's a potential option. Back inside, what does the upstairs have to offer?
So, upstairs, and just 2 bedrooms at the moment, which for the rest of the space of this property seems like it could possibly be more, but we'll see if there's a way of doing that in a second. But down the landing, you've got a little cupboard here with the boiler in it, which is good news that that's already got a home. The bathroom, well, definitely in need of modernisation. It's currently covered in all this white powder. I think that's flea powder. Probably... Again, a happy or not so happy recollection memory of the previous inhabitants, some of whose friends, as in the fleas, might still be hopping around hoping that they return. But anyway, need to sort this out, but, you know, any money you spend on the bathroom, as long as you keep it within reason, you're going to recoup, so that needs doing. Now, on to the whole idea of the 3rd bedroom, because this is the front bedroom. It's not a bad size, but look at all these cupboards. There's a built-in cupboard here. There's another cupboard on the other side. There's all this stuff going on here. So I'm thinking there is a way to put some simple stud partitions. That's basically bits of wood, which you create a frame, and then you put plasterboard on the outside of to create basically a solid divide. Stud partition wall here, maybe one on the other side, and I think you could easily get, maybe not a massive bedroom, but certainly a little sort of office-y kids' baby room or something like that. So that would be brilliant, because to turn this into a 3-bed, I think would definitely enhance the value.
Like downstairs, upstairs has a lot of potential. A good-sized family bathroom and options again to potentially increase the value of the property by turning 2 bedrooms into 3, giving it more family appeal.
It's always good to sort of wander around, certainly many, many times before you make a final decision, when it comes to changing the layout in a property. Having thought about that front bedroom and maybe putting a sub-partition in there, this is the other side of that wall, and so, yeah, that certainly is a plan. But again, just thinking about alternatives, this is the back bedroom, and it's actually quite big, so could you, as an alternative, put a sub-partition wall here? Now, the only issue with that is it would mean that you're cutting through a window, which always looks rubbish. So there might be some boxing in or something, I don't know. That's the second option. Third option, I wonder if you could potentially go up and create some kind of a dormer. Whatever, I think one of those 3 options, you've got to do it, because the house is crying out for that 3rd room. Well, 3rd bedroom.
With all these potential options, now's the perfect opportunity to get the thoughts of an expert from the auction house that sold the property.
If the property remains 2-bedroom, then it does limit the market a little to maybe a couple starting on the property ladder. Adding the 3rd bedroom would widen the market, because it does then start to appeal to younger families.
What could the property get on the rental market?
If the property was put on the market to rent as a 2-bedroom, then I would expect to achieve somewhere in the region of £600 per calendar month. If we did add the 3rd bedroom, then it would be somewhere in the region of £650 per calendar month to £700 per calendar month.
And would there be a big difference in sales price?
If the property was refurbished and remained a 2-bedroom, then I would be putting it on the market at somewhere in the region of £140,000 to £150,000. If, however, we added a 3rd bedroom by going into the loft space, I would be putting the property on the market at somewhere in the region of £160,000 to £165,000.
Well, it needs a bit of internal modification, updating, and certainly quite a bit of cleaning. But what you've got here is a lot of house and garden for that £90,000 plus guide price. So I'm sure it was a very popular lot when it went under the hammer.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
1, 2, 3, and gone.
For £99,500, the successful click of the mouse was made by the very recently retired Katie and AJ, joined by their Australian shepherd Banjo. The couple already own a portfolio of rental properties, but this will be their first renovation project. While Katie took Banjo for a walk, I caught up with AJ to find out their plans to give this property a new leash of life. Ooh.
AJ, very good to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Martin.
Congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this house, then.
We really liked the area, and we thought it was the property with the least troubles and least things to do. And this is our first time doing an auction property to do up.
Right. And the auction process was all right for you? A bit scary?
It was very unusual because it was done online. It took 5 hours to get to our lot. So by the time it got to ours, there was just us and one other guy. Fantastic.
Really? And you got it. Were you happy with what you paid?
Very happy.
Yeah,
the guide price was 90 and we got it for 99, so
Yeah.
happy days.
So what about layout, though? Because obviously it's a two-bed at the moment.
It is a two-bed, and we've looked at other houses on the street which have cut off this room here, virtually in line with the steps. So upstairs, there's room to actually make a third bedroom. But there's a bit of complication involved because the window goes right across.
Yes, I noticed that.
And also the heating goes right across. So there's a bit of fiddling to be done. So I'm not sure if it's practical, if it's worth the expense.
What about going up?
That has been done on several houses along the street. And we had a look at it today. It was the first time we looked up in the loft, and there's a lot of space, actually. It's quite good. I haven't seen any dormers, big extensions on any houses on the street, so I'm not sure if they're allowed. Once again, it's a cost issue. I think this house, just with fairly cosmetic upgrades, will rent quite well.
Right. So is that the plan? You're doing it to rent it out?
It is.
So you have to then make that financial decision that how much difference to the rent is it going to make?
Exactly right.
This property seems like a great first project for Katie and AJ, as they don't plan to make any structural changes. With a budget of £15,000, they plan to put in a new kitchen, bathroom and redecorate throughout. AJ plans to do most of the work himself.
Let's just admire the beauty of this thing.
And are you local?
No, we're about 2 hours away.
Right. So what are you going to do? How are you going to are you going to come up here and live here and work and whatever?
At first, there are some really nice little cheap hotels around to take the dog, but obviously that gets too expensive. So as soon as the house is fit to live in, then we'll live in it while we're doing it up.
Great-looking dog, though. Tell me more about what
Well,
kind
there's
of
an
dog
Australian Shepherd, which is a rare breed over here in the UK. They look a lot like Border Collies. They're just a bit bigger and a bit prettier, in my opinion.
And fluffier.
Fluffier. I've got a big, fluffy coat, that's for sure. Yeah,
So he'll be helping out.
yeah, of course he will. He's in charge of vibe.
Vibe.
Yeah, if you're getting down at all, he'll be right behind you to cheer you up.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's his job.
Well, that's brilliant. Any idea how long it's going to take?
At least 3 months.
Yeah.
I know it looks like cosmetic and easy stuff, just take the wallpaper off, but it's never that easy.
Well, great. So the whole venture you seem really buzzed by it.
I am. I think it's very exciting. It's great fun.
Good. Well, listen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with it.
Very good.
And we look forward to seeing you when it's all done.
Yes, hopefully as soon as possible. We'll see.
Well, AJ and his wife, Katie, and of course, Banjo the dog, very excited to take on this project. But actually, I think Banjo's more excited about the ball. Go on then, get your ball. How will it all turn out? You can find out later in the show.
We now head to the Yorkshire town of Doncaster, famed for its locomotive building industry, most notably producing the Flying Scotsman. And our very own non-flying Scots woman, Martel, has just pulled into town to have a look at an auction lot.
I'm within walking distance of the town centre and also the train station, so a pretty good spot here. Now, today's property, well, here it is. It's a two-bed mid-terrace, which came with a guide price of £55,000 to £65,000. And apparently it's in need of some improvement. Well, judging by the looks of your wee outdoor area at the front, you could start right there. inside and straight into your sitting room. While not the biggest, it's quite well proportioned. You've also got quite a few things that really date the place, from the textured wallpaper to the textured ceiling, but these things are all aesthetic. The double glazing looks in relatively good condition. Get it checked over, but fingers crossed that could save on your budget. Let's find out what else we've got. Well, this is a second sitting room, reception room, dining room. We've got a big window here and it feels flooded with light and really spacious. It's a touch bigger than the first reception area. This place, well, I expected it to be quite small as a 2-bed mid-terrace, but actually you've got 2 decent-sized living areas, and all of a sudden, this place is really growing on me. The kitchen has seen better days, you're right. You could do with a swanky new kitchen in here and it would transform the place. Also, you've got some damp patches, wallpaper coming off, so you want to look into that. But then, look at this. This space goes back and further back. It's empty, pretty much. It's entirely unexpected. And all of a sudden, this place almost feels like a TARDIS. It just keeps giving. Me, I'd be extending that kitchen to have a really big kitchen, make it all singing and dancing. And then you've got your 2 reception areas, loads of sociable, lovely space on the ground floor. Up the stairs, pretty steep stairs. Now, your back bedroom is a decent size. It's missing quite a lot of floorboards. Through to your front bedroom, which feels spacious and again quite bright and light. I like it. Now, this is interesting. You've got a door here and a door there. This takes you to the other bedroom. You can do laps around your bedroom. So into the back bedroom, and just when I thought the layout of this house was going so well, your bathroom is down a step and at the back of your back bedroom. Not ideal because you don't have independent access to get into it. You have to come through someone's bedroom to get to your bathroom. So there are a few solutions here. You could leave it as it is and accept that you just have to walk through someone's bedroom. You could move the bathroom downstairs, which I wouldn't normally suggest, but you do have room to play with downstairs. Or you could create a corridor coming off your stairs to give independent access, shaving off some room of this bedroom, but it doesn't quite work here because this door is smack bang in the middle of the room and there's a window at the side. It's a bit of a quandary.
Another quandary is how to get into the back garden. There currently isn't access through the back door, so this is as close as we can get to the garden for now. What will a local property expert make of this lot? We've invited one along from the auction house who stole the property to get his thoughts.
The house needs full modernisation. The layout at the minute doesn't work in my opinion, so I would rejig that, bring the bathroom downstairs and possibly add a 3rd bedroom upstairs.
So if this was put onto the sales market with its current layout, what sort of figures does he think it could achieve? And what value would he put on it were it converted to a 3-bed?
So if the buyer was to keep the layout as is and modernise it and renovate it throughout, I would expect to achieve in the region of £70,000. If the buyer was to change the layout, modernise it and renovate it, then I would expect the sales price to be in the region of £80,000.
And on the rental market?
If left as a 2-bedroom and kept the layout as is, I'd expect to achieve rentals in the region of £500 per calendar month. So if the buyer renovated it and changed it into a 3-bed, I'd expect the rental to be in the region of £600 per calendar month.
This 2-bed mid-terrace has really surprised me in terms of internal space, especially downstairs where it feels spacious and the layout really works. Upstairs, not so much. You'd really need to give careful consideration to the location of the bathroom. But All in all, I think this house is worth going for. Let's find out who agreed when it went to auction.
This lot was sold at a remote property auction, with bids taking place online.
Selling twice, sold.
And the winning bidder, who got the place for $59,500, was part-time property developer Phil, along with his partner Anusha, who couldn't make it along for the visit.
Phil, pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Doesn't sound like a Doncaster accent.
No, it's not. So my partner and I, we both live in North London. So she's originally from London. I'm from all over the country, but now we're there.
So it's not unusual for people who live in London to invest outside London because you get more bang for your buck, as they say.
Yeah.
But why specifically Doncaster?
The yield is very good for this area, and it's quite easy to get to from London.
So is that what you do? You have a portfolio of rental properties?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a small portfolio. And then this will be our fourth that we own in the area.
Now, you mentioned your partner. She's Anusha?
Yes, that's right.
What role does Anusha play here? In fact, what roles do you both have? How do you split your time and the jobs here?
So we both get involved with most of the sides, but Anusha's more on the design side. So looking more at how the feel of things would be, and I deal more with kind of the finance side and the estate agents, accountants, that sort of thing.
Well, Phil and Anusha certainly sound like a pair made in property development heaven. Anusha's day job as a film and television stylist means she's a creative and fast thinker, and Phil is the numbers and negotiation man, as he works in sales by day.
Just like heaven. Talk me through your plans for here.
And there's essentially a bit out to the back, which is almost like a lean-to extension. So that's actually going to become the main family bathroom. Then we're going to knock down the wall coming from this room into the kitchen to give it more of an open plan, flip the stairs, and then use the bathroom upstairs as the third bedroom and create a corridor to that. So it's actually going to come from a 2-bed into a 3-bed.
And that third bedroom will have its independent access through creating a corridor.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is quite desirable for a family.
Yes.
Now, I couldn't get out to the back garden because the door is locked and it's really overgrown, I can see from the window. What's your plans for the garden?
So plans for the garden, just kind of a basic retouch. So clear all the weeds and the overgrown plants and probably just lay it to gravel. So it's nice and easy to maintain for the tenants, and they've got a nice outdoor space to entertain, hopefully in the summer, if we get some nice weather.
Yep. So what's your budget here, Phil?
So the budget is about 35,000. So unfortunately material costs have gone up substantially in the last year. So last year it probably been even a lot less, but we're being realistic on that. And to be honest, that's not going to give us too much in terms of a capital appreciation, but over the long term it's going to be much better in terms of the rental side.
How long is it going to take?
It should take about 10 to 12 weeks. We need to put in new central heating system, as well as kind of look at a bit of the electrics, plus obviously the full kind of renovation and remodelling. So yeah, it'll take about 10 to 12 weeks.
Have you spotted any areas of concern? I did spot a few wee damp patches as I walked around. What about you?
Yeah, so there's a couple of damp patches which we do need to address, but apart from that, we've not seen anything major, apart from the central heating, obviously, that was something we need to fix.
I have a really good feeling here. I think you're going to do a great job, the best job you can do. Best of luck, Phil.
Thank you very much.
It might not be Phil and Anusha's full-time job, but they have quite a bit of experience when it comes to property developing. And I really like the ethos they have. They've got a healthy, a chunky budget, and they want to make a real difference here and make this into a family home. I think that with Anusha's background in fashion, well, we're in for a pretty stylish finish. You can find out how they get on later in the show.
Coming up, I head to a 5-floor mid-terrace in Worthing.
It's not only tall, but it's really deep.
And in Doncaster, it's success all round.
It's made it from what could have been quite a pokey room here into being like really nice.
Now, time to head back to Stafford, where I visited a two-bed semi with a guide price of £90,000 plus on a lovely street with great parking. But inside, things didn't look so promising. It wasn't in the cleanest state, and there was a fair amount of leftover evidence of pets having lived here. The layout wasn't working either, but there were opportunities to turn this two-bedroom property into a three-bed.
It's nice. Just one of those properties you sort of had to go and then take a deep breath and carry on.
The successful bidders, paying £99,500 for the property at auction, were renovation rookies, couple Katie and AJ, and their dog Banjo.
Great looking dog, though. What
Well, there's an Australian Shepherd, which is a rare breed over here in the UK.
He'll be helping out.
Yeah, of course he will. He's in charge of vibe.
Vibe.
Yeah, if you're getting down at all, he'll be right behind you to cheer you up.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's his job.
Oh, well, that's brilliant.
So, with Banjo the boss of positive vibes, the couple planned to completely renovate the place with a budget of £15,000 and a timescale of 3 months. They hoped to create a third bedroom, but weren't quite sure whether that would be practical financially. Well, a year and 2 months later, we're back to see how they got on. Not much has changed here, but the front of the house was already pretty shipshape. Inside has been replastered, refloored and painted throughout, with the downstairs toilet getting a new sink. How lovely. A new, less greasy and non-carpeted kitchen has also been installed. The living room is looking bright and stylish. And I just love the reintroduction of the serving hatch between the kitchen and living room. Upstairs, a new bathroom's been put in. The front bedroom is looking clean and fresh. And the back bedroom has been split into 2, so they were able to create that third bedroom after all. The back garden has been tidied up and has had new paving laid. And the garage has had a transformative lick of paint. It also now doubles up as a utility room and is home to a dryer and spare freezer. Their 3-month timescale has stretched quite a bit. What happened there, and how long did the work take in the end?
My daughter Maxine, the 11-year-old daughter who lives in Switzerland, had the opportunity to come and spend the entire summer with us. So that was 2 months of down tools and very enjoyable time.
It was lovely.
Yeah,
really
and that was
fun.
great.
Yeah.
So 3 months of solid work have got us to where we are.
The biggest change to the house is the new third bedroom. What made them decide to go for it in the end?
It's really because it just made sense from the point of view. You had 2 good-sized doubles. It was one enormous bedroom.
It's mainly for the extra rental income.
Oh, yeah,
really.
of course. Yeah, and the money.
So we know all the houses in the area. The neighbours are fantastic,
Yeah,
and we checked out what the different rentals was for 2 and 3 bedrooms,
Yeah.
and it's worth another £25 to £50 a month.
Yeah,
Happy
absolutely.
days.
Yeah.
So does that mean they're sticking to their original plan to rent the place out?
Absolutely. We want to try and build a steady income for ourselves. And we've seen the rates in this street are very good for us. You know, it works out well.
And how did they get on with their proposed £15,000 budget?
Well, we're not great at keeping accounts, but somewhere between 20 and 25,000.
Yeah.
We were initially looking at 15,000, but because we were delayed, there was all the extra council tax
tax,
over the
and
12
fuel
months,
bills,
the fuel
everything,
bills,
yeah.
energy bills,
Yeah.
and
We also did things like we actually went for a better boiler than we were thinking of
the much
initially.
better. As I said, the tradesmen we found are fantastic,
Oh,
and we actually
amazing.
used recommendations of the first tradesmen we
Yeah.
used. If we liked them, We asked them who in the area do they recommend, and that worked tremendously. It was a great tip, actually.
Yeah,
if you find someone you like, ask them who's the best at it. The next thing to do.
Yeah.
On that note, there's someone very important we need to ask about the project. AJ's daughter, Maxine. What was her favourite part of the whole experience?
My favourite part of the project was when I used the water bazooka, as I call it. It was the jet water spray that I used to wash the tiles in the garden.
Let's hope for our estate agent's sake he offers up some good values for the property and Maxine isn't waiting in the bushes to strike with her water bazooka. So let's hear what he thinks. No pressure.
I think the fact that the owners bought this as a 2-bedroom property and converted it into a 3-bed is going to lend itself really well to the first-time buyers market in the area, which is going really well at the moment. Equally, if this property is to go on to rent, it will lend itself really well to professional tenants who are looking for 3 bedrooms locally.
The moment of truth. What sales figures would he place on this property?
If the current owners were to put the property on for sale, I would recommend marketing it at between £175,000 and £185,000.
That's a smashing price. I think that's just fine. It's pretty much what we guessed, but I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
Smashing indeed, as their total spend, including the purchase price, has been £124,500. So a sale at £185,000 would leave them with a pre-tax profit of £60,500. But what about that all-important rental figure?
I would recommend marketing this property on the rental market at between £775 and £800 per calendar month.
Oh, I think that's pretty spot on. We know the landlord of the house next door, and she actually recommended 825, so that's really close to what we expect to get.
A rental value of £800 per calendar month would give the pair an annual yield of almost 8%. So now that it's all done and dusted, what does the future hold?
We're going to take a little break, and I'm lucky enough to have my parents coming over for the summer, and I hope to play a lot of golf. And also, my daughter Maxine will be with us, and she's getting quite good at golf as well.
I can't resist looking at the auctions
we'll be
already.
looking at every auction as well. Just in case.
I'm just looking for the next one already. So, I'll be cautious, but yeah, it's good.
Worthing in West Sussex is one of the largest seaside towns on the south coast of England. Located just 10 miles west of Brighton, it's a lively mix of seaside attractions and amenities, making it a popular, family-friendly town.
Well, just 5 minutes walk from the seafront in this really popular commercial area is the property I'm here to see. And a really interesting auction lot it is too. This is it. It's a mixed commercial and residential property spread over 5 floors. Guide price at 470 to 480,000 quid. It's going to be interesting. So, what have we got then? Separate entrance to the upstairs floors there. We'll explore that in a minute. But then through into the commercial unit. And looks to me like this has had a bit of work done already. Big frontage, which is really good. It's been stripped back to brick. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be when it's finished. Perhaps. But looks like a lot of the quite expensive things might have been done. New electrics, got radiators in. But normally in the process, you'd plaster the walls and then you put the radiators on. So it's a bit strange that they've been fitted first, unless that is the look we're going for. Shabby chic, strip brick and all that kind of stuff. Cellar down there, which is suitable for storage. And then, I don't know, more to explore. Nice high ceilings. And already just getting a feeling like it's a big building.
Down the hall is a kitchen and WC belonging to the commercial unit, and not forgetting their own access to the rear yard. It looks to me like an all-round great package for someone to rent. But what about the residential side of the property?
So through that separate entrance and down a fairly long corridor, more signs of fire alarm system being put in, which is good news. And this is your access into the rest of the property. So more stuff reaching back there. I mean, it's not only tall, but it's really deep. I mean, it's not so wide in terms of the space on the street, but it's really cavernous when you get inside. Let's explore. So, one room with ensuite facilities there, and then up onto this little landing, another bedroom with ensuite there, and then through into what my guess is like a communal kitchen. I mean, somebody's obviously had the idea of converting this into a house of multiple occupation. I mean, you'd have or an HMO, the bedrooms with their ensuite, which is really good, like by professionals and for anybody. Having an ensuite is really great. It pushes up the quality quite a long way. But then a shared facility here, which is the kitchen. Yeah, lots of light coming in for the big bay windows. Superb location. The thing is, obviously, somebody has started this job and they've spent a lot of money. We've got the kitchen here. We've got all the electrics and other things I talked about already. Normally, that would come, that's sort of double-edged sword. How good is the work that's been done? You don't quite know, but just looking around at the quality of what I can see, I think it's a real bonus that somebody's done it. Fantastic.
Yes, the full property has undergone an extensive refurbishment already, including a new gas central heating system with new radiators and double glazing. Whoever buys this place will simply need to finish the job off. So, what's on the second floor?
So, continuing our journey skywards, second floor here, another ensuite bedroom there, another one there, that's 4, 5 here, and just to get an idea of the kind of feel that whoever did this is going for with the brick which has been revealed. Maybe that explains what's going on downstairs. Really nicely kitted out bathrooms. Again, a really lovely feel. And then there's a set of stairs which lead up to these 6 bedrooms. So you've got a 6-bedroom HMO here, house of multiple occupation. It looks like people have thought about the various things you need. Like my guess is that they're fire doors, auto closing. There's lots of things you need to do, but it seems like whoever did this knew how to do it. So what would you do? Would you think about converting it to flats? Would you keep it as an HMO? Well, you'd need to find out about licensing in the area. You need to talk to local estate agents and find out, what the demand is. But to my mind, somebody's gone to a lot of trouble to create something which could be extraordinarily profitable. So why on earth would you change it? Keep it as it is. Could be amazing.
Keep it going on, going on, going on. Keep it going on, going on, going on. Keeping it as it is would make the most sense, although there is the option of turning it into 2 self-contained flats as well. It would just take a lot more work. What will a local property expert suggest? We've asked one along from the auction house that sold the property to get his thoughts and find out what he thinks it could be worth.
I really like it. It's light, it's bright, all the rooms are a decent size. The units are of good quality. There are some still finishing off to be done, but yeah, from my experience, there's been quality work carried out to a good standard throughout.
So, would he suggest keeping the property as an HMO?
As you can see, all of the upper floors are arranged as a house in multiple occupation. All of the rooms have ensuite shower room facilities. There's a high-quality shared kitchen here. And I think having high-quality letting units in a location like this is probably the best use for the upper floors.
The agent thinks each room could be rented for between £500 and £600 per calendar month. As for the commercial unit on the ground floor, he thinks it could achieve an annual rental figure of around £10,000. But what about the sales figures?
OK, if we consider the upper part as a residential investment and producing a figure in the region of £40,000 a year, I think a realistic value for the residential upper parts would be some in the region of £500,000. And then the ground floor retail unit as a commercial investment, I would put some in the region of £150,000. So altogether, about £650,000 for the mixed residential commercial investment.
Well, if you're looking for a property that really covers all your bases, I don't think you're going to go too far wrong with this one. You've got potential rental income from the shop and then additional rental income from the HMOs. So, yeah, it could be an absolute money spinner. Let's see who agreed and bought it when it went under the hammer.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
It's going to be sold. Well done.
The successful bid of $500,000 was made by part-time property developers Julia and Karen, along with their business partners Matt and Judith. They have plenty of experience and are looking forward to getting stuck into this project.
Julia, Karen, great to see you both. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got to ask about the crutches. Are you all right? Or is that what's happened?
Yeah, just heading out to the gym, slipped on some ice and kind of broke my knee.
Ooh,
my kneecap.
ouch.
So...
But you're on the mend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
But, certainly wasn't on the project plan. So.
No. So tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
A lot of the work's been done. It's in a great area. It's very up and coming around Worthing. And all the planning had been approved. And like I say, 80% of the works had already been done. So it was quite an easy decision for us.
Tell me about you two then. Is this something you do? I mean, are you property developers or what?
We are. We're sort of kind of starting our property journey. We've done a lot of education and mentorship programs over the last couple of years. We have a small buy-to-let portfolio in the background, and we've also done a HMO last year. Yeah, so this is our first commercial to residential project, working with our new business partner.
Wow, OK, so somebody else is helping along the way to do stuff.
We all have our strengths, and we bring our strengths to the table, and you know, my background's project management.
Oh, OK, brilliant.
And so we're able to bring the resources together. Matt is on the building side and negotiations, and Judith and Karen are very much on the furnishings, the design, the interior design, all the nice, clever stuff at the end.
Right, I'm making it look pretty. Wow, fantastic. So you get excited by doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the work that's been carried out so far?
There's really very little for us to finish off and do, so yeah, we're pretty pleased with it.
Yeah, and we've got some plumbing and electrics, and as you can see, some walls to sort out, and the furnishings, flooring, decorating. So there's still, you know, there's a fair bit to do.
Julia and Karen, along with their business partners, have worked out a budget of £35,000 and a timescale of just 3 months. But what is their plan for the property?
So the ground floor's going to remain as commercial, and the 3 floors above will be house and multiple occupancy.
OK, so you're going to keep it pretty
6
much
bedroom,
as is.
yeah.
So what sort of ideas for interior design have you got?
So we're going to be putting feature walls in most of the rooms.
Nice.
A couple of the rooms have got exposed brick like this, so we're keeping that as a feature. The kitchen, we're changing all the light fittings, so we're having contemporary light fittings. Making a breakfast bar area in the kitchen, making it sort of like on the theme of sort of cafe culture.
Because it's a lovely little spot, that, isn't it? You've got the big window and a little bit of a, you know, I'm not sure you can go out there, but you've got a little bit of a balcony, so I can see that absolutely having a really nice feel to it. Well, listen, congratulations. Good luck with it. And we can look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, I think Julia and Karen have done really well with this place. It could turn out to be an absolute money spinner. And they know what to do to sort it out. I'm sure they will give it those wonderful finishing touches. You can see what it looks like when we return later in the show.
Well, weeks and months have passed. Earlier we found out about one of our properties, but what about the other 2?
Has it all gone swimmingly, or have the buyers entered choppy waters? Let's find out.
Back now to Doncaster in Yorkshire, where Martel saw a 2-bed mid-terrace guided at £55,000 to £65,000 that was larger on the inside than it looked.
Look at this. This space goes back and further back. It's empty, pretty much. It's entirely unexpected. And all of a sudden, this place almost feels like a TARDIS. It just keeps giving.
But the layout upstairs left a lot to be desired.
Just when I thought the layout of this house was going so well, your bathroom is down a step and at the back of your back bedroom. Not ideal because you don't have independent access to get into it. You have to come through someone's bedroom to get to your bathroom.
The house was bought by couple Phil and Anusha, who paid £59,500. They're part-time developers based in London and have a few properties in this area under their belt already. And they plan to maximise the rental potential here.
There's essentially a bit out to the back, which is almost like a lean-to extension. So that's actually going to become the main family bathroom. Then we're going to knock down the wall coming from this room into the kitchen to give it more of an open plan, flip the stairs, and then use the bathroom upstairs as the third bedroom and create a corridor to that. So it's actually going to come from a 2-bed into a 3-bed.
They had a healthy budget of £35,000 for this job and hoped to get the place ready within 10 to 12 weeks. Well, 3 months later, we're back to see how they've got on. This once dark house is now bright and airy, with light paint and flooring throughout. The dining room wall is gone, creating an open-plan kitchen diner in a modern shaker style with a grey palette, finished with silver fixtures and fittings. The long, dark area at the rear was insulated and transformed into a beautiful family bathroom with a luxury finish. Upstairs has been reconfigured, separating the 2 bedrooms. And the stairs have been flipped. Enabling the awkward bathroom to be converted into a 3rd bedroom. Phil and Anusha are here to tell us more.
This room is my favourite room. I think the open plan nature of it and taking down that wall has just transformed the space. It's made it from what could have been quite a pokey room here into being like really nice.
This is their 4th property and will be added to their rental portfolio. But with Phil working in sales and Anusha a TV stylist who helped with their property renovation.
So we've got great builders that we always use on our properties. So yeah, we're very grateful to have found them and we will always use them with all of ours.
We'll design the kitchen and the bathroom and everything like that, and we'll pick out the flooring, but then the builder, like Anusha said, they're great. They just can get on with it, and because we've worked with them on previous projects, they know what we like. So it's relatively hands-off for us because we have that great relationship.
Initially, they set out a budget of £35,000. Did they manage to keep to this with all the work they've put in?
We came in at 34. So, yeah, a little bit below.
Yeah, we did good on that.
Under budget are 2 words we don't hear very often on this show, so well done, guys. Time now to see what a local estate agent thinks and if turning it from a 2-bed into a 3-bed has been the right move.
What they've done is they've created that 3rd bedroom, which makes quite a bit difference to the resale value and the rental market. With what's going on at the moment, the 2+1 works quite well, so to have an office as 2 bedrooms, plus 2 bedrooms, or to have 3 bedroom appeals to a wider market.
Phil and Anusha have spent a total of £93,500 bringing this house up to scratch. But just how much value have they added to their investment if they chose to sell?
Put it on the open market, the market is commanded about £110,000.
That's
where
bang on, actually, what we thought. So that's good to hear.
That could see the couple with a pre-tax profit of £16,500. But as they're not tempted to sell it, how will the figures add up for renting?
3-bedroom in this area at the moment is commanding this type of specification a minimum of £650 per calendar month.
I mean, slightly lower than we've been told by our agent. So probably around sort of 675, even up to 725.
Yeah.
If the right people came along. But yeah, around
Well, I'm
the
happy with that. Yeah, happy with that.
If they were able to get £675 a month, like their agent reckons, then that would mean an annual yield above 8%, which is pretty decent. So, what's next for this couple?
Next project.
Yeah, moving on to the next one. Do it all over again.
Earlier in the show, I was in the seaside town of Worthing to check out a very interesting mixed-use premises guided at 470 to 480,000. Deceptively spacious, the ground floor housed a large commercial unit, including a kitchen and WC. But its generous proportions weren't the only thing on offer.
Looks to me like this has had a bit of work done already. It's been stripped back to brick, and it looks like a lot of the quite expensive things might have been done.
Yes, this enormous property boasted new electrics and heating, and the residential unit upstairs was no different. It had a brand new fitted kitchen, as well as 6 bedrooms, each with their own ensuite.
Somebody's obviously had the idea of converting this into a house of multiple occupation. It looks like people have thought about the various things you need, like my guess is that they're fire doors, auto closing. There's lots of things you need to do, but somebody's gone to a lot of trouble to create something which could be extraordinarily profitable. So why on earth would you change it?
Seizing the opportunity and buying the place for $500,000 were part-time property developers Julia and Karen, along with their business partners Matt and Judith. And they were keen to put their stamp on this well-begun property.
We all have our strengths. My background's project management.
Oh, OK, brilliant.
And so we're able to bring the resources together. Matt is on the building side and the negotiations, and Judith and Karen are very much on the furnishings, the design, the interior design, all the nice, clever stuff at the end.
This property developing team had a budget of $35,000 and a timescale of 3 months to get this place ready for rental. So, how did they get on? Well, bang on 3 months later, and they've taken the property over the finish line. New decor teamed with contemporary accessories and soft furnishings all add up to create an on-trend look. And outside there is now a chilled-out seating area, complete with bike store. But did Julia and Karen have an easy ride completing this formerly unfinished project?
There were a few hidden surprises along the way. We did actually have to change a fire vent in the roof, one of the windows there. It was the wrong size and we had to bring that up to building regs compliance.
The fire doors that had been put in by the previous developer, it turned out that they were no longer acceptable, so we had to change the mechanism that closes them, so we had to change all those last minute.
For an HMO licence to be granted, the landlord must ensure proper fire safety measures are in place, as well as gas safety checks being carried out every year and electric checks every 5 years. But it wasn't just the residential units that had unforeseen issues.
We split the water supply between the commercial and the residential. That required the ground floor digging out, and the time it takes to do something like that can be challenging. It's still not completed, but that will be done in the next couple of weeks.
Splitting the water supply means not only will the retail and residential units receive separate bills, but it will also improve the water pressure for the tenants upstairs. How did this newly formed team find the pressure of their first project together? Let's hear from business partner Matt.
It's gone really well. We set out from the offset, I mean, who's doing what and whose responsibility. With my experience already doing, several projects, especially with HMOs, and having the trades locally, it's quite easy where I fit in. It's been really successful because we all have our different skill sets, so we bring that to the table each, and we delegate who's going to do what, and we get the job done.
It sounds like this could be a real developer dream team. But did they lose any sleep keeping to their £35,000 budget?
We're heading close to 40,000 now, which isn't too bad actually, given some of the challenges we've had. So we're happy with that.
That 40 grand spend puts their total investment in the project so far at 540,000. But will it be worth it? We've asked along the expert who saw it last time to tell us what he thinks.
I really like what they've done to the property. They've enhanced the light in the space here. Really impressed with the way they finished it off.
A positive response from the expert. So how much could the residential units yield on the rental market?
These are really top quality, high standard letting rooms in a good location. They're all quite different sizes and everything, but I think overall you're probably looking at somewhere in the region of £600 a calendar month.
We've actually rented 3 of the rooms on average around £750. So the highest one at the moment going at £775. So I feel 600 is probably a little bit low given what people are paying right now.
The expert estimated that the annual rent from the retail unit could be around £10,000 per year. Add that together with the residential income from the HMO, and they could be looking at an annual yield of around 10%. He thought a realistic sales value for the whole building as an investment property would be £700,000, which would mean a pre-tax profit of £160,000. So, does that figure make them tempted to sell?
Yes, it would be in our favour to sell in terms of finances, but we want to hold it. I think there's a longer term benefit with the property, and yeah, it's worth holding on to.
Well, their first joint venture was a success. So does this mean they'll be tackling another project soon?
We've all worked really well on the project together. We've got other projects together in the pipeline. So yeah, it's the start of many to come.
So that's how the 3 stories on today's show worked out. But for more from the unpredictable world of property, join us next time here on Homes Under the Hammer.
And if you can't wait that long, you can watch more straight away on BBC iPlayer. Just press that red button.